how you doing? I saw your video today of you walking Makoto. It looks great. He looks like he's obviously moving better than the last day that you posted a video. But I wanted to mention something about the harness that you're using, and I don't think it's the best harness. I'm going to show you something. I have the same harness that you have on Makoto. Stand, Matsu. And you know, it's a standard harness, but what people don't realize is regardless of the type of the harness, that all harnesses restrict shoulder movement in some ways. Unfortunately, with the harness that you picked, Matsu, back up. Did I hook that right? Yeah. The harness that you are using on Makoto goes right over the shoulder blades. And then when you put a little tension with the flexi lead or any type of just pull, it clamps down on the area between the shoulder blades. And what happens is every time they take a step and that shoulder blade comes up, it now has to push against, and there's resistance against this material and the pressure of the harness. So any type of pull, and just even the weight, if you put your hand underneath it and then you have Makoto walk, you're going to feel the shoulder blades moving up and down underneath them. And that resistance is working the same muscles that actually you just had surgery right down here. So really works the trapezius, works the rhomboid, so right underneath here. So I think this is probably not the best harness to be walking him in right now. Matsu, sit. I have a better idea. It's a different type of harness. You may or may not have them. A lot of people got these type of harnesses for our dogs when they're puppies, and they're called Easy Walker because it's that one that restricts their front Matsu, stand. Their front legs. You know, you hook here, and if they pull, you can restrict them. Now, these are the type of harnesses that most people don't like, including me, for long walks because, Matsu, back up. It usually, because of here is located, is below the humerus or right at the shoulder point. And a lot of times it inhibits their stride. So going for a long distance at a good pace, like they're trotting, these can actually affect their stride length. But that's not your concern right now. Your concern is making sure that the least amount of work is being done between the shoulders and up here in the shoulder, between the shoulder blades and these muscles where he's recovering. So I thought something like this, or maybe you can even figure out something to modify. If you have a harness like this, you're like, well, where do I hook the flexi lead? Because Makoto's not going long distance and he's not really pulling, he's not being really crazy. Pick your side, but I would actually do it on the side instead of trying to hook it in the front. Or maybe if you have a big enough thing, you can somehow hook it on the top. But again, this is taking all the pressure and the weight away from his shoulders. This strap right here is actually coming behind the shoulder blades. And the other thing I would do if walking on a flexi lead is, instead of having constant tension, which can be pulling him ever so slightly, I'd actually put a brake and just walk it like this, or just walk him on a normal leash. Having any type of pull is just going to pull him off a little bit off balance, which is something that he's struggling with right now. Going back to the other harness that you were using, I'm just going to slip it over the other one. Oh, poor Matsu, so hard being a demo. Is the good thing with this type of harness is, granted, get permission from your vet, but after you walk, put this harness on, put a nice pack on, and let him sit for 15 minutes. I don't know if you can see that, but it'll sit right there and it'll keep that area nice and cool. So after your walks, maybe start seeing if you want to ice Makoto down. It might give him some relief. Again, because of their fur, it's not going to get too cold, but I know that when Matsu's had a strain up in his shoulders, that this has really provided some comfort. Again, get permission from your vet. I'm not a vet. I can't give vet advice. Let me see. And then always do that after your walk, not before walk. The next thing I was going to say, in the video I noticed that Makoto is pacing. Matsu, stand. And what pacing is, and I'm sure you know, but I'll just repeat it, is when he was walking and trotting, these two legs were moving together and these two legs were moving together, not like this shoulder and the counter hip behind, or this leg and then his right shoulder in the front. He was moving these to the side. That might be lack of balance, but it also indicates that he is still very sore down his spine. So that's just something, I know that you're aware of it, but it was something that just really popped out to me that he basically paced that whole time in the video. That's what I remember. And the big thing is with a harness or anything that you're going to have on him, don't let him, Matsubaka, don't let him, if you can, let him lose his balance. Because when they lose their balance down here, this is their counterbalance. So when they lose their balance, they automatically use their head and their neck, Matsu stand, because that's just the mechanics. When this goes one way, this head is going to go the opposite way, or he's going to swing it to try and catch himself. So really be careful walking him on uneven ground, letting him, I know it's hard because he's a boy, but he wants to go and mark stuff. I would really, if he was my dog, I would be kind of walking close like this when I allowing him to go potty and actually hold him while he pees so that he doesn't keep on using his head and his neck as his way of catching himself when he loses his balance. And of course, he's fearful of falling. A lot of dogs are fearful of falling, so that's just his way of trying to fix himself. But again, just, you know, it's a great way to protect his neck, is just to make sure that he's not tripping and stumbling as much as he can. So anyways, I hope that's helpful, Nikki.